Four lights on the board, and we go racing at it. Mandalika. So a fantastic start from Andy Park. Tim Shaw gonna try to go around the outside of Riga Milana, side by side into it. Trying to hold on desperately. There's a bit of contact that's made between the two, but Regan muscling his way through to hold on to the inside line as they all try to barrel through. A couple drivers going off the circuit momentarily. LM is one of them. They go three wide as they try to close up. Nixon trying to go through on the inside. Lesmana able to hold on, but it's the whole shot with Andy Park and Regan Milana trying to escape. But Tim Stahl, and look at the background, the two pink cars are Christian Romao and Mike Van Dorn trying to attack. 4P7. Absolutely fantastic effort from these drivers here today. Meanwhile, there's yellow flags. What went down? I think Mike potentially went a little deep off the circuit. Brought out some yellows momentarily. You see Christian trying to pull up the over-under. Andy Park, fastest lap of the race with a 1:25.30. Here comes Christian Romao. Another opportunity to get this move done on the inside. BMW versus Mercedes. What a rivalry it is in the real world. And in the sim world, it's almost exactly the same. The Brazilian pushing Van Dorn to the absolute limit. He'll have the inside line. Christian will get the move done. Van Dorn back down, relegated to 5th place. And this is the fight that is, in fact, a must watch. We also have Crawford sitting in the pit lane, continuing to be busy out here. As down the inside, Christian Romao goes, and he's gone a little too deep, side by side, and Steinberg has sent Christian off the circuit. Casper will go down the inside. A little bit of lag there from him. It's not what Christian needs right now. Needs to get through. And look at that. Nixon as well trying to go through. Nixon able to. A little bit of bumping there, but Christian Romao has just lost a crucial amount of time in the short span of that moment there. That is a nightmare. Now Christian has got a lot of trouble. What do you do now? Side by side, Nixon gonna try to take advantage of Casper, a little bit shaken up. Don't blame him. But that is very interesting. Andy Park chasing down Tim Stahl. And look at that, round the outside to the inside now. Side by side, neck and neck into the left-hander. Can Tim hold on to that move? He lets it go. Andy Park, ladies and gentlemen, continuing to dominate this race, trying to get back up to the lead before anyone has made a pit stop. That's going to end, however, because he's going to take it. Regan's going to take it straight to the pits. Tim is also going to do the same thing. Does Mike follow through? He does not. Regan's going to need a quick stop. Tim's going to need a quicker stop if this battle's going to go down. There we go. So both of them in the pits now, and Regan's going to come right out the pits. Tim is going to fuel up that car, get those hard compounds on, and he's going to be out of the pit lane, and he's gone. So, battle on now. They both made their mandatory pit stop. Meanwhile, anybody else looking busy in pit lane? It looks to be Torres. And shout out once again, Lido Projects for this amazing track here. We're live. Mandalika International Circuit, done by Lido Projects. Shout out, and if you want to support them, check out the link in the description. Download the track on Overtake GG. Give a friendly review. And this is the mod. You're going to be getting high quality stuff. The Indonesian Grand Prix, not possible without Lido Projects. Thank you again. Here, Andy Park, nowhere near the points top, but just imagine if he was, and this was all for the championship. Big Andy as well, flashing some headlights. 2.6 seconds the difference. He lunges it. Tim Stall didn't even see that one coming, but not to worry. It's not enough to get side by side, but look how close it is. Nose to tail, Park to the inside. It's side by side, and Park will be able to get the move done on Tim. Little bit argy-bargy, but that's another position gone there. Park up to second place, and if Park is going for this race win, he's got 7.3, 7.5 to the top. Van Dorn, a little bit of lag, it looks like, from him. Christian's going to realize that. And is there a late dodge? Oh, he sides him, touches him, rear end, contact is made. Very late dive bomb there from Christian Romao. It's going to cost him a lot of time. Andy Park is going to have an opportunity to get into this fight here, but just not able to capitalize on that perfect mistake. But it has now entered Tim Strahl into this battle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your battle for P2. 4 cars in it. As this goes down, Regan Milana losing a lot of time on this compound. Side by side, Andy Park on Christian Romao. Christian will have the inside line, door to door. Tim will try to go around the outside. Will he make it 3 wide? They will. 3 wide on the front straight here at Mandalika. Slipstreaming now. Christian Romao wants to get back on the inside. It could very easily get messy here, but as they go through into turn 1, it's Christian who was mugged 2 positions, but Christian side by side. There is contact. Contact is made between Christian and Tim Stahl. Romao just going backwards in the span of like 3 corners. And now it's just gotten big time here. Mike Van Dorn, he's gotten away. He's separated for the time being. Tim, championship implications on the line, goes down the inside of Andy Park. Christian Romao is going to get that, and he's going to go 2 positions in 1. Christian Romao passing 2 cars in 1 corner. Andy Park side by side with Tim. Contact is made between them. Andy trying to hold on. Could there be even more contact? He gets slided. Both of them are gone. Both of them are gone. This is absolute drama. Tim Stahl, Andy Park, nobody wanted to let through. And if we didn't know about contact in the first one, that was the convincing point. But holy, what a race. This has been on the final lap of this Indonesian Grand Prix. It's not over until it's over. The championship will come down to the wire here, ladies and gentlemen. But all eyes and hearts, the love, the support. Regan Milana, the underdog of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, the Indonesian driver, will get it done at home. Regan wins at home at Indonesia. Regan Milana is a race winner in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Tim Stahl defending, trying to hold on to Christian Romao. Van Dorn will finish up in P2. Tim will be relegated down to P4 because Christian will take over P3. What a race, what a fight, but eyes love what a race from this man, the underdog. Regan Milana takes victory at home. He's done it. He has done it. He has won his very first race in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Ladies and gentlemen, we arrive at the final part of this story. The final chapter to wrap it up, to seal the deal. We're looking for the next champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make history today. Welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and it is time for the Italian Grand Prix, the finale of the DTM 2025 World Championship. We are just 2 minutes away from the start of history. Qualifying will begin very soon, but if you're joining us here for the first time, welcome out to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to a proper championship battle. You are joining us live here from Italy, in Milan. 5.73 kilometers, this beautiful circuit, 13 meters of elevation, and we're just coming to the end of practice. If you're just tuning in for the very first time here in CMRSC, let's take you through what we've gone through so far. If you're joining us now, you're joining us a little bit late, but not too late. You can always watch the rest of the championship events after this one. But you've already missed out. Back in Hockenheim, it went to Luca Andretta. At Watkins Glen, Tim Stahl took his debut win. But as we head into Donington Park, it was a hard-fought battle for the final pot to the podium, but Tim Stahl went 2 for 2 back-to-back race wins. And then as we head into Mandalika, the storybook ending. That was Riga Milana taking victory, his first victory, and doing it at home. Well, you can't get much better than that. And all eyes lead up to the final race. November 15th, today's the date. Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Championship format staying the same as the rest of the rounds. So we already started off with free practice, and we're just coming to the end of it in 42 seconds, followed by qualifying that's about to come up. 15 minutes, the final 15 minutes of qualifying these drivers are going to be going through in these cars. And it's the fastest driver to make pole position and the 1 point that will seal the deal for this championship deal. And then we get into racing. 60 minutes, 5 p.m. We're very close to it. We're just under 20 minutes away. 60 minutes of racing. Mandatory compound change. The drivers have to come into the pits. If they're on softs, they got to swap to the hards. If they're on the hards, swap to the softs. Do it in that window, and you're good to go for the rest of the race. Drivers are speculating it could be a 2-stop, mainly focusing on the fuel. So we're going to find out how that's going to turn out there. No pit limiter, as per usual. It's the final time we're going to make it in this championship without the fuel. And then we're going to get going for racing with no virtual safety cars. It'll return back for the next one for Race of Champions, but right now, we have a show to watch. We have history to create here. Right now, though, it's Andy Park, who looked very fast back last week out. He's at the top of the practice times with a 27.250. Christian Ramau, Peter Sabot, Mike Van Doen, Conti rounding it out. Look at this fantastic group of cars here getting ready for this qualifying session. I think we're just at just under 20 concurrent drivers. But the championship all comes down to it. Let's just pray that I think the standings, are they updated? No, they're not updated. So I will tell you it right about now. So, how's the championship looking? It's all led by Tim Stahl, and he's leading the standings by 73 points. Followed by Riga Milana, and I'm not trying to make the meme, but 67 points just behind. And then Christian Ramau in third with 62 points. So that's the storyline. It's not a winner takes all, and it's not necessarily whoever finishes ahead out the bunch will take the title. There's going to be a lot of points calculation in this one, but as we get ready for qualifying, the bonus point looms down for 3 drivers: Christian Ramau, Riga Milana, and Tim Stahl. But look at this fantastic group. The class of 2025's DTM World Championship comes down to this. As the green light comes out, we are underway, and qualifying begins right about now. Here we go. And it is about to get interesting. You're already going to notice, if you haven't been keeping up all week long with CMRC, the drivers are not going through that first chicane. They are going flat out straight. It's the layout that has returned back from 2023. So, without further ado, let's get started with this qualifying session. Just going to make some last audio adjustments, making sure we're all good to go. And it is about to get interesting. So, I think we are good to go. I think I'll lower my mic just a tad bit. And we are good to go. So, 14 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here in this qualifying session. Tim Stahl is your man who's going to lead us off. That hopefully we'll see if he can set down the first lap the drivers can chase down. Now, Tim Stahl, this is his first championship in CMRSC. He's already leading it, heading into the finale. Behind him, it's Regan Milano. We'll talk about him in just a moment's time. But Tim, he's the driver to beat out here. And he's maximum in points with the drop score system in place. It's actually allowed Tim Stahl back the lead of the championship. Before, well, Regan led the title by 9 points, but with the drop score that everybody wanted, it has shuffled up the title change. So we're down to 3. Tim, Regan, and Christian. So as we wait on to see what Tim is going to do around here, it's Regan Milano now. So the true underdog story in this one, he's going to be going for all of it. He's got nothing to lose. He came into this season just looking for a podium. He's coming out, going into the final race with a win under his belt and P2 in the standings, just about 7 points off, looking for that title, hunting for it. So best of luck to him. And then your third man here, Christian Ramau, the true runner-up. We don't want to call him the runner-up, but he has been the runner-up in this championship fight throughout his CMRSC season. And, well, really, he's just been consistent on the podium this time, and if it weren't for Regan Milano, he would be up there fighting. So a lot of drivers really hunting down for this title, and it's just those top 3. The rest ineligible. They're not able to. They don't have enough points to make it to the finals. But here we go. Tim Stahl now on the back straight, looking for the first lap to be put down onto the board. Eyes are looking at Amelie. She's actually purple in the first sector. Park has taken purple in the middle sector. But the German, Tim Stahl, will come around the final corner now. And the drivers are going to be chasing down a 1 minute 27.323. Next across the line will be Regan Milano, which will go down to a 28. Let's look for now, where can we find Andy Park? There he is. So Andy now trying to get a lovely tow from the X-Play duo just ahead. Comes to the line, and it's a 127.466. So he's going to nudge down Regan. And in fact, Regan's going to go backwards here because Peter Sabot now goes up a position. And Tim finding some improvement this time on this lap. He's purple. So we catch him on through to the first Lesmo, in the second Lesmo, down to third gear, accelerating out. There you see him, just a little bit of correction on the wheel. Shouldn't cost him too much time, but now heading onto the straight. No DRS open for these cars here at the Temple of Speed. But as we head into Ascari now, the drivers, very interesting. And look at that line through there, just absolutely going through those sausage curves. Now, before anybody asks about track limits, we're allowing them with that. The only problem is the way you take those curves, the sausage curves could easily kill your race, but we're allowing it all the way. So squeeze as much as you can out the car. Here we go. Tim to the line now, crossing it. He's lost out the purple first sector, but he's going to go faster regardless, 27.217. Now Van Dorn, eyes on him in the Barbie car. Remember last week he claimed his first podium. Finally getting back up. And just getting it a little bit wrong through Ascari, the entry of it. So he's just dropped down a bit of time. But now heading on to Parabolica. More improvements throughout the board. Peter Sabot, Christian Ramau, P4. Conti, P5. But now through Parabolica in the BMW, can Mike Van Dorn continue this momentum? He's going to be starting P1, the top of the standings for Race of Champions. To the line now, he's going to put his time up to P4. And Jarrell Moore, take a look at this. So Sector 1, fastest. A lot of drivers are going to be very, very competitive in that first sector. So you're going to see a lot of purple go down, and Jarrell Moore is going to try to go through. Tim Stahl, has he exited out the pits? He's got purple. 29.6. But the X-Play group, Jarrell Moore, has been a very, very quick driver out here, but on the X-Play Team 2, the sister team here is Just a little bit of lag through there. Lots of traffic in this section. And you see them just exiting out. Trying to find some sort of space. Here we go. Tim Stahl around the final corner of Parabolica. Racing to the line now. Can he get this lap time even faster? And he doesn't. Not going to work out for him. Andy Park, however, very quick. Just behind the X-Play duo that's going side by side to the line. And Park goes to pole, 27.199. So, that is very crucial. If Regan or Christian can't get pole, the best thing to do is make sure Tim is not going to get pole. And, hey, there's going to be some cheeky work at play. Maybe slipstreaming Andy Park, knowing if Park's going to be quick enough for pole. Give Park the slipstream. Let him take the point. It's not going to matter for his championship run. And especially for the title. So, it'll be very smart. At least see Tim just avoiding Van Doren. Didn't have to go that wide, but I think that's just a dirty air through the second Lesmo. And if you are enjoying us right now, enjoying the stream, it's your first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for a whopping 3,000 subscribers. It would mean a lot if you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. And if you're looking for some proper Thrustmaster equipment, use code CMRSC on checkout. It'll save you 15% off. Thank you, Thrustmaster. All funds provided. We'll go right back to the lead. So Tim, round the final corner, through the Parabolica, wide exit here, narrow entry to the line, and he's going to go back to pole with a 127.113. So now, desperation once again comes back around to the rest of the drivers in that championship fight. Park, what can he do? Remember, Andy Park, very quick last week out, took pole. So, very familiar with the top. But crossing the line now, going to begin another lap. Tim already, of course, on a lap, but fortunate enough, Regan Milana setting a lap time now, 127.589. Maybe some small tweaks to the car, but he is on the second row. It's still trouble for him because losing out pole position to Tim will only make that championship run more difficult. There's Christian Ramau, another driver, but it's getting a little bit worse for him. Not really having the best time out there. How aggressive Tim going through those curbs. It really just zero room for effort. Every single F1 fan absolutely cringing at the fact that Tim could just get away with that. And honestly, the sausage curbs are your limit. So, here we go. Tim Stahl, round the final corner, through the Parabolica. Very great two sectors. Can he wrap this one up in the third? Go faster? Maybe he does. 27.104. He's quicker. Want to catch Andy Park and find out what he's doing at Parabolica, or at Ascari, I should say, in that Mercedes. If he's also taking that kind of line. A lot of drivers not even taking that first line into Ascari. So, you know, it actually makes me wonder. Let's try to find some drivers there. One driver we can find up here, P12, Mark Crawford. Let's just take a moment. Let's just see how he's taking Ascari. And there you just see it. Nowhere near the amount that he can take, even the final part. He takes all that sausage curb, though. More drivers coming through. You see the Lexus of Paz going through and more. Here comes BMW here, Amelie. Getting the power down as early as possible, and a little bit deep there goes Kasper Tazayaki. Peter Sabot trying to get a lovely toe here with Peter Sabot. So Peter Sabot, Tim Stahl working together. Look at them, both of them running through together. But look at that! That's going to be track limits for Tim. Getting into the gravel. That's what happens if you push just a little too hard. You see in the background, that's Christian Ramau also going off. Or no, it's actually Ilham, my mistake. But here is the Lona Audi on the top three. And meanwhile, here comes Andy Park racing to the line, a 127.199. Any improvement from him? No, it stays how it is. And we're actually getting word that this is Regan's outlap. Behind him, you see Mike Van Doren also just getting ready to go for this final part of qualifying. And there you see Christian Romao trying to get a tow here. Desperation for Christian in this qualifying session. He's running out of time to set a lap time here to go higher. He's on the third row. So he's getting that slipstream there. He's pulling out. I think just letting through there one of the X-Play cars. Rounding out now to Parabolica. And getting where Park just taking it to the pits from the Lesmo section. There was some local yellows that just came out in that section. Now, Christian Romao, what's on his agenda? Obviously pole, but if he's not going to be able to take pole position, plan B, he's got to get on that second row, minimum. He's got to line up with Regan Milana, or else it's going to be a very tough ask at the start of this one. And you see here, the first braking zone is right here when we get to the start of the race. It's going to get tight. Incidents will happen. Many incidents. They're going to get drivers spinning out through this first chicane as they try to single file out through to the Lesmo section. So, you know, championship dreams could be broken in a matter of seconds, in a matter of a sector. You know, Tim could be taken out here. We're not wishing anybody to be taken out. We hope that everybody can get through clean, but at the end of the day, this is Monza. This place is cursed. You get incidents everywhere. Even when the Monza turn 1 curse, even removing that, they'll go to the next braking zone and they'll find a way to take you out. Dive bombs galore. You're going to see desperation. This championship battle as well. Even in the team standings, you're going to get some championship dives. But regardless, though, it's still going to mean everything if these drivers can get it done. Tim Stahl on the back straight. Heading into Parabolica now. He's looking great in the middle sector. Just lost a tiny bit of time in the first. Still holding on to pole position. Can he keep that up for the next 90 seconds? Only time will tell. Here we go. Tim Stahl racing to the line now. Is it improvement? Can he get a sub 27? Can he get into the 26s? No, but it's a 27.062. And Tim extending now in the gap. Just under 2/10 to this man here, Andy Park. And Tim, he's looking for it. He's looking to seal this deal ASAP. And will we see him do it? Will we see Tim Stahl take his first ever championship win in his first ever attempt? A true alien coming down to earth. And we'll find out soon. And I can't wait for racing. This is qualifying after all. Even though it's a bonus point, the big boy points are made. In racing category. 30 seconds left to go. And we're just about to wrap up qualifying. And here we go. Final chance. Tim Stahl has decided to opt in for the pit lane, thinking, I got this one in the bag. Absolutely nobody is taking down my qualifying time because both Christian Romao and Peter Sabot are in the pits. So half the job is complete for Tim Stahl. Andy Park now needs a lap of a lifetime if this championship is going to alter. Checkered flag now out. Eyes are on this man. Heading into the first 2 turns. Look how close it is. 7/1000th of a second. I think he just dipped a tire into the gravel, though. It's going to cost him. Here we go. On board with Andy Park through the first Lesmo. Now, into the second Lesmo. Could take a bit more curb, but it's still looking very sweet on corner exit now. Down the straight. Once we head into the end of this straight, heading into Ascari, that's where second sector is going to complete, and it's all going to come down to this. How good can you do it? He's purple in the middle sector. Oh, a little bit of a slide, though, through Ascari, it's going to get very close here, but he's nailed the middle sector. Oh, that's Layla in the back just running off the circuit, but eyes are on the foreground here. The Mercedes of Andy Park. Parabolica to go. What can he do? Can he snipe pole position out of nowhere here? Racing to the line, foot to the throttle, flat out to the line. It's not going to work out. He's not going to take pole, and that is huge here. Still times to come across. It's just Peter Sabot. What can he do from P4? He goes to third and knocks down Regan Milana, and that's qualifying. Tim Stahl takes pole position, followed by Andy Park and Peter Sabot. What a qualifying! And if you're just tuning in and you don't know what the championship really looks like here, well, my friends, I got a trailer to speed you up. Take a look.
Andrew McCarthy is interested in more than just a good... Listen, he's having no trouble...
Could you say it again?
He... Speller in the white...
We're on your screen.
Said earlier, Steve, undefeated...
All right, quiet on set, quiet on set. All right, we're live in 3, 2, 1. You're on. Welcome back to the DTM World Championship. I'm Rahul Nasseir, here with my good friend Luhar Rasan. We're in the final of what may turn out to be a historic day for racing. Bro, my blood pressure is going through the roof right now. If this gets more exciting, they're gonna have to be stretching me out the booth. Right you are, Luhar. 3 cars are close to the points lead heading into the final race of the season, and the winner of these 3, Luhar, will win the season title, aka the World Championship. Does the German Tim Stahl have what it takes to win his first championship in CMRSC? He's been ACF's golden boy for years. Can he win them another world championship? And as always, in the second place spot, we find Christian Ramau. He's been chasing that championship his entire career. Christian thought this was his season, Rahul. His chance to finally emerge as CMRSC's next alien. But the last thing he expected was Regan Milana. You know, I don't think anybody expected this. The underdog sensation came into the season looking for just another podium, but everyone knows him now. Will he be the first Indonesian to win a world championship and create history? The alien, the runner-up, and the underdog. 3 drivers, 1 champion! "30 seconds left to go before the start of the finale of the DTM World Championship. It's on the line. Tim Stahl versus Regan Milana versus Christian Ramau. Here we go. As we wait for the lights, horns go off. Let's do this. Four lights on the board, and for the final time, we go racing! It's the Italian Grand Prix! Park already leading us off, snaking through, not wanting to allow Andy Park. Watch the 3 wide in the back, Christian desperately needing to go through, and you see Regan getting sucked through on the inside. You see Curva Grande already in the lead. Oh, there's trouble. Who is that? That's Regan. Regan's off the circuit. Regan's out already as they head into the first chicane. Another driver off through there. Christian trying to survive. Oh, it's that Tim. Tim is off. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Tim Stahl out of the contention so far. It's Christian Ramau who's in 3rd of the championship. He is now P2. He is now leading the championship. Are you kidding me? What a start to the Italian Grand Prix finale. Absolutely massive start. Where is Tim? Tim's in the back. Regan's ahead of Tim. This is absolutely insane. The runner-up from this championship picture finds himself P2. at the start of this one. Oh my goodness me. This is it. We have 60 minutes of racing where anything and everything is possible. Side by side, Mike Van Doorn to the inside there, getting the power down, just passing Peter Sabot, making sure the safety car's off the track. It is. Oh my goodness. I'm absolutely shocked. And Christian getting the fastest one in the first part as all the drivers starting to split through here. Side by side action throughout this one. It's getting intense out here. Peter Sabot goes it down the inside. Curva Grande now. Against, he's absolutely sideswiped Van Doorn! He sideswiped Van Doorn! Oh, wow! So Van Doorn has entered back. Oh, it's absolutely carnage here, trying to rejoin. And honestly, slowed himself down, trying to go through. But there you see, through the chicane, they all single file. Casper just squeezing up Munzer getting a little bit of a tap of the rear end from Mike Van Doorn. And you see it's getting pretty intense through the mid-pack here. This is what we're talking about. We told all the drivers, I know basically nobody here has been with us since 2023, but you gotta trust the process here. And you gotta allow this championship fight and this track to seal the deal for us here. Look at DeVille Park here. Could be on the inside of Ilham. Ilham just not having the best of luck in the last round. What can he do? And DeVille putting all sorts of pressure. Meanwhile, Christian trying to stay within that second of Andy Park. Not trying to lose him. He wants to score maximum points. Ilham to the inside. And he's got that move that's stuck, trying to hold on. DeVille is going to try to keep holding it on, but when you have the slipstream to go, you can just put it right around the outside. Now the inside, and he's going to be able to go drag racing down to turn 1. Did we know what happened at the start with Tim Stahl and Regan Milana? I have a feeling I saw Regan in the gravel early on. Was it kind of like what happened with Mike Van Doorn and Peter Sabot just a lap ago? I'm not too sure, but here we go. Curva Grande, this is a classic Alonso Vettel kind of battle here. Hard on the braking, and look at that. Closing the door, the Jamaican DeVille Park. Getting that move done. He's up to 4th. The only Jamaican out here racing with us in this DTM World Championship. One of your famous Jamaican drivers, Jaden Harrison, competing in the FIA World Cup going on in the Dominican Republic. Congratulations for qualifying. And there you see Layla trying to go through. Jarrell has just been a sitting duck. Couldn't get the power down in time. And Layla's just bulldozed Jarrell out the way. And if my eyes don't deceive me, that may as well just be a harsh penalty coming Layla's way. You can't just bulldoze out the way. We don't get penalties midway through the race. But there you see Mike Van Doorn getting through. And meanwhile, look at Tim also trying to go through. Where is Regan? Regan's gone backwards, actually. I didn't see it. Regan's down to 17th. His championship picture. It's closing. It's leaving so fast. Luckily for him, you look at the minimap, P17. He's still with the pack. He can still catch up. But what happened? He was basically outside the top 10. What went wrong? Again, I did not see it. Meanwhile, though, this is your pack racing. So much pack racing is going to come around here. I do have a water bottle, and I hope you have your snacks, and you're not going to the kitchen, because it's going to get very intense. Conti, side by side, Lesmana squeezed out into the chicane. Conti's up to 5th. Lesmana running a bit backwards here. And now Tim, fantastic run now, heading into the Lesmos, just peeking his nose out, letting him know, letting Mike know he's there. But so far, as it stands, Christian Ramau leads the championship. P16 is off. Who is P16? Can we get word? It's Mark Crawford. It was not Regan. I don't think it was. Yeah, no. Crawford having an incident by himself for the most part. Meanwhile, Lesmana trying to get onto the rear of that Lexus that's just slowly exiting the picture there. So pits are now open. What do you do at this point? If I was Regan, he's started on the soft compounds. It's a tough ask to pit now. It's a two-stopper, but the drivers are going to be focusing on fuel rather than tires for this one. The tires are not going to be that stressed out with a circuit that's this simple. Look at this, around the final corner. You see Paz just getting it wrong, and he's getting mugged out here. Amelie and Danny, both of them getting those positions up the road. I just saw it side by side. Klaus Klint going up against Kasper Tezayaki. And let's see what Paz... Oh, there's a bit of lag there, it looked like. Oh, are we going to see some 3-wide action? Wouldn't it be too wise? So Amelie, just slow momentum, getting shafted there. The first part, just going to back out. So into the chicane, Tazayaki gets through on Klaus. Danny Nasseir fighting hard against the Lexus. Oh, Amelie's just... Did Amelie just take out Paz there? Just ran through him, trying to go through the middle. Oh my goodness, that did not look clean at all. So that's not going to help. That could be another penalty coming from that chicane, and you just got to be careful through there. If you're taking penalties out there, taking out people, it's not the right way to go. It'll cost you. It'll cost you final time position in this race, potentially future race bans if you don't keep it clean out there. You just see in the foreground there, we just passed it, Ilham chasing down Conti, and you see him. Great run through Parabolica, and he's going to take it to the outside, and he's going to try to get that move done. Look at that, side by side to the line. Now, I'm not saying it's possible or not possible, but I am going to say this. If we can get ourselves a lovely photo finish for the title, chef's kiss. Chef's absolute kiss. Could be race of the year if that's the case. So Klaus, slow exit through Parabolica. He's just lost out another position, and that position goes to Regan Milana, which now, P12, he's entered into the points fray. He's still far behind, and he's got some work to do, but he's got a quick car. He qualified up in the top 5, so he should be able to make do of the drivers ahead in no time. It's a long race. We got 51 minutes left to go. Anything and everything can go down. That lap 1 incident under review completely. Do we know what happened? I'll try my best. I'll try to see if I can find out what did happen. I cannot confirm to you if I can tell you for sure what exactly. I'll keep an eye on it. But let's focus on this race a little more closer here, because a lot of cars are really getting bunched up here on this back straight. Andy Park, fastest lap. Look at this. He's actually entered the pits. So, Christian Ramau now leads an early only 10 minutes into this race. Did he start on the hards? He did. So, Park started on the hard compound tires. And as this continues, we also see Ilham getting to the rear. I have a report from lap 1, not a penalty, but I think we can describe what went down. And you see Ilham, oh, he tried to go for the move. Look at that. He actually got off throttle because he realized he wasn't able to get that move done. Look at DeVille, though. He's up to 3rd. Great run for him. Let's find that rear cam, and you see the Argentine of Conti in his debut season as well. Joined us midway through the DTM World Championship into the American Grand Prix. And you see just on exit, that's not a good run there from DeVille, and this could be stirring up the pot here. Conti is going to be all over the rear. All DeVille can do is just hug the inside and pray that he can defend through to Ascari. And he cannot. Conti goes through, and I think Ilham is going to be thinking to himself, man, I should have got the move done on Conti instead of backing off, because I could have got that. I could have been the man who would be sitting up to 3rd place. And it's not quite over yet, because DeVille just getting through now. And so we're looking at what happened to Regan Milana. He kind of touched the rear of Peter Sabot, but it was a light tap, and I think he touched the grass, and that was really what made his car go for a spin. So, yeah, just unlucky at the start there. We'll have word on what happened to Tim, but speaking of the devil, he's actually in this battle 2 by 2 through Curva Grande. Tim and Ilham side by side. Tim is up to 4th. So, it ticks down again. Christian is in trouble here as you see Conti and DeVille side by side, and Conti with a slow exit, gonna lose not one, but 2 positions in that matter there. Tim's up to 3rd, and what a recovery drive from Tim Stoll. Regan, who's only made his way up to P10, and DeVille with a worse exit, and Tim Stoll, it's a cakewalk, and just like that, from being taken out at the beginning of this Italian Grand Prix, he's up to 2nd. And look at the back, he's carried with him. He has just slashed through the case. This has been this is reminding me of 2012 Interlagos, Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel kind of climb back through the order, but it's not quite done. DeVille has never raced him. He doesn't know what he's made of. Does DeVille know what he's getting himself into? But the exit is going to tell another story. He's not going to be able to get back into this. And we're getting word in the paddock pen, retirement from Amelie, and claiming that she was blocked by Klaus 2 times, got the car spun around. Not too sure what went down, but it'll be looked at after this one. Meanwhile, side by side, here we go. Ilham trying to go through on DeVille. Nothing can be done that time around, but look at this pack battle. This is your battle for 3rd. It would be 2nd, but Tim has perfectly sliced through the traffic. And if this championship is his, well deserved. As it stands right now, Tim back in the lead of this championship and looking for the title win. But still, early goings here. And for Regan, I don't know why he went backwards a 2nd time. I don't know if he got into the rear of somebody. Whatever the case may be, he had to restart his progress. Right, you take note from the real world. You look at Max Verstappen at this year's Brazilian Grand Prix, slicing through the order. You look at Hamilton, also at Interlagos. I know there hasn't really been many comebacks. As, ooh, look at that. DeVille lost out that position to Ilham, but Ilham goes very wide off the circuit, and he's going to lose back 2 positions, and he's going to be back under the slipstream. Mike Van Dort is going to try to get P3. Comebacks are not impossible. That's one thing, and you look at Tim getting taken out in the early goings. He even found his way behind Regan after he was taken out, so, well, real true test, side by side, Curva Grande. Now Conti is actually down in 16th. Why is he in 16th position? I'm not too sure. Did he go off the circuit somewhere? Or did he pit? What happened? We'll try to figure it out as we go on. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's not saying he pit. Weird. Alright, we'll maybe give that word in just a moment to the drivers from race direction to let them know that Conti is racing. And oh, look at that, DeVille losing the rear end. That could cause some trouble. And he's, oh, look at that, trying to weave the dirt off the tires as they enter the back straight. So, race direction speaking here, Conti, it does appear that it's showing that he's a lap down. Oh, and there's trouble! Ilham went too deep! Ilham dove the rear end into DeVille Park! So not to worry with Conti there. Just continue racing as is. You are not a lap down. We'll score you according at the end of this race. So keep racing as normal. You might see some blue flags if you are around Eros Conti. But don't worry about it. Just keep racing as normal. So as that announcement went down, DeVille went for the dive of dives through Parabolica and just did not break in time. Lost out. Huge. And now he's just gotten even more backwards. I don't know what went wrong there. So just watching back what went down. He looked to the inside, but I guess he just didn't hit the brakes as soon as possible. He unfortunately knocked out DeVille, and well, looking at it, Ilham may face a third penalty in a row in this championship. Now, meanwhile, as we continue this race, look at Andy Park. He's coming back through the order. He's now returned up to the front pack here. And now side by side on the rear with CMRSC's most successful champion. One of the most successful champions, I'll say. Mike Van Doorn. He's a 5-time world champion. So the slipstream might be easy for him for the first part, but once you get into those corners, might prove Andy a little tough. As we continue here, Park going for that early pit stop is still and always held that lead now. 14 seconds, Christian Ramau out front. And now Park in the Mercedes looking for a move. Look at the rear cam. And to the inside potentially. You see Mike defending hard. But is it going to matter? Oh, side by side. Door is shut. Even pushed off wide. Mike Van Doorn is off the circuit. And now, as they head into the first Lesmo, Van Doorn will nudge his way back up. But it's a little too deep going off the circuit. Almost trying to defend. Park does not go for the move onto the second Lesmo. Hitting the curb a little harder. Park has a better chance up to this section here. And looking to the inside, door is wide open as they head into Ascari. And what can Mike do? Opening up the corner, side by side, try to hold on. Mike is going to continue to hold on. He's in the curb, and he cannot hold on to Andy Park. Andy has shoveled up to third position. What a move there against the Flying Dutchman. And you see behind, DeVille Park defending now, and looks to be against Peter Sabot and Ilham. Tim Stahl, fastest lap of the race. Ilham going wide there, not trying to run into the rear, and he's going to look to the inside. Peter Sabot is going to try to drag race them. Do we see it? Ladies and gentlemen, could it be 3 wide? Peter, being smart, tucking behind. Oh, he looked to the inside, but I don't think he's going for it. Peter, I would say just stay back. Let these guys fight into the first chicane and then just take advantage. Oh, you see him. He's just lifting off. Can we get telemetry? There we go. But here we go. Eyes are on DeVille. He takes it to the inside. And he's going to dive it. Almighty dive. Ilham does not break that late. But, oh, he's been taken out. Oh. He just ran into the rear. He just ran into the rear of DeVille Park. And then just taken out just like that. All that, and Regan's up to 8th. So, very interesting what just went down there, and Ilham now sent backwards. Christian Ramau taking back the fast stop of the race. Look at that! Regan on the outside! Oh, and he's gone way too wide. Was that desperation? I think I just saw Ilham also going wide off the circuit. Regan Milana. He's got to cool it down. He's got to chill out. Look, he went for an outside move. Very optimistic through Ascari. And now his progress, trying to catch back up. He's got to keep it cool out there. He's got 40 minutes. 40 minutes to still climb back up in this race. And Regan is going to take it to the pits. And he was on the softs. So after 20 minutes of these soft compound tires, will he be switching to the hards? Will it be a new set of softs? A clear, different strategy at this point. He lost out time at the start of this race. He lost out even more time after that. He's got to try something new, because trying to catch up through the order, it's just not working out for him. I think at this point, he's just going to have to play the long game, slap some new tires, get some proper fuel in there, a little bit off there, the circuit. That's Mike Van Doorn. He's just lost some more time to Andy Park after chasing. So, yeah, Regan Milana. He's back out on circuit. He's down to 11th. He's got Crawford ahead of him. And now he's just got to focus up. Oh, in fact, look at that. That's very kind of Mark. Mark just allowing Regan Milana, knowing that that's not my fight. And I know the championship, so I'm not going to make his life too difficult for him. I know he's going to pass me. So fresh tires for Regan. And Regan is in the hards. So he'll be slow throughout this stint. But I think he's going to have to play the long run in this race if he has any chance of winning this championship. Absolute heartbreak for Regan Milana in the early stages. And unfitting that, you know, he's an ambulance and we're talking about heartbreak, but it's not over. It's not over till it's over here. And, oh, DeVille, what is he doing? So DeVille is absolutely just missed completely. Oh, he's just... Yeah, he's just not going through. And Conti also in the pits as well. So making his stop. So drivers busy in the pits. Danny Nasseir coming out. So I guess what Regan did was on par with how the strategy is looking. So we continue this one as is. And Conti's retired. We also see, I think that was Christian Romao just exiting the pits. So Christian Romao finally making his pit stop. And merging safely back onto the track. So here we go. Tim into the pits. And now work is being made. So DeVille is absolutely just checking audio levels. But, yeah. As we continue now, Tim exits the pits. He's got company. It's Peter Sabot, and he's coming in fast. Here we go. This could stir some trouble up. Does Tim just let Peter through? Is it defense now? It should be defense because Tim's going to need to climb back up. But Peter now entering the fray. He's got fresh tires, warm tires. I get some cold tires there. Oh, and Peter dips a tire into the gravel. So this is your battle for P4. And this one continues. Can Sabot spoil the party? Try to get past the Mercedes up the road. And, oh, trouble! Oh, is that? That's not who I think it is! It is! Tim Stahl made a mistake! Was that the sausage curb? Was that the sausage curb that costed him? I just caught my eye off of it for a split second, but he disappeared off the screen. Tim Stahl, was that a mistake? Was it? I'm looking for it. Yeah, it might have been. Took the curb, took the inside curb that he was taking all qualifying session long. Oh, wow. This title battle is not over. Tim Stahl relegated to P5 with a gap. So now Regan Milana has to just go for this race win. P2, P1. Get as many points as possible. Oh, we're also getting word. Ilham and Crawford, I think it is. Was it Crawford? Yes. It was Crawford who got it wrong. Oh, and entering back onto the circuit, almost running into Danny Nasseir. Danny Nasseir will enter the top 10. You know, here comes Ilham. So, championship implications once again get hot. And look at the timing board there. Regan is a spot behind Tim. A mistake like that will cost him position, but look at the minimap from P5. Entering the Lesmos is Regan Milana, and entering through Ascari is Tim Stahl, is Layla. A great performance by her in this race so far. In the top 10. Not able to hold on, though. Lesmana to 8th. Park, fastest lap. And Mike Van Dorn will enter into the pits. Finally, his pit stop being made. So Christian Ramau is going to have some free open air for now. And now let's look at Tim. Remember, he would have been fighting for the podium here. But as Mike Van Dorn's in the pits, he's going to come back out. And actually, he shouldn't be that far off. That was actually a very quick stop considering how Mike's race has been. So, game on. And I'm going to try my best to give you the current calculation of points as we continue this one. But in this early going here, this has been a very intense Italian Grand Prix finale. You see Temtem in chat. Get that first win. Yes, Andy, that's another thing. Andy Park has never won a race in CMRSC. Could have had it last week out, but just strategies did not work out. Pit boxes, not getting in there in time, and just overall was a race to forget, especially towards the end. But this time, Park trying to be another race winner. And if that's the case, that'll be back-to-back race winners in CMRSC. Regardless, though, it's still been an incredible fight here, and we're only halfway. We are only halfway in this Italian Grand Prix. Now, as this race continues, we're going to actively give you guys some live points right now as it stands for the top 6. If we were to freeze it, and if we were to, stop the count. So, Andy Park, of course, not in this championship fight. He will still claim the maximum points, followed by Christian Ramau. As you see, Paz just letting through Andy Park. Meanwhile, as this goes down, let's watch this battle here. Under a second, as, a little slide on the rear. Trying to catch it. The Mercedes just losing out some time. And now having to work a little bit harder against Lesmana. Peter Sabot, great effort from him so far in this race. He's currently up in 3rd. Tim Stahl, P4. Mike Van Dorn in a P5. Regan Milana, a harsh P6 at the moment. If the top 6 stays where they are right now, Tim Stahl is actually still champion. So that is real food for thought. The points would be so far 90 points for Tim, and Christian will wrap up with 84. So still work to go here in this one. Regan will actually drop down to 3rd with 80 points. So is it a fall from grace? I don't know. But as for Tim, well, if Christian wants this title, he's got to do the hard part here and win this race. And it's easier said than done. Because Andy Park, in a whole other postal code, tri-delivery is beautiful. Very beautiful. Yeah, you see there the brown and the dark galaxy there. My personal favorite out of the two has to go to Layla. I just love that bright purple. And yeah, just seeing all the class of 2025 here, and these cars and the liveries, just absolutely fantastic looking. And Layla, actually, sticking with her, closing up this gap to Ilham. So, This race continuing, still undecided on who is going to be champion, or better yet, who's the race winner, even though Andy's had that 7-second lead last week out. Cannot forget all the issues that went down. Well, this is going to be a tough ask for Christian Ramau, because he's got to win this race. And not only that, he's got to pray that Tim Stahl finishes way below the order, because, well, here's the thing. Regan Milana, even if he were to win this race and Tim Stahl finishes as low as just P5, Tim will still win this championship by just 1 point. The cushion that has been made has, well, it may have just sealed the fate for Christian Ramau. Christian's got to push. I don't know any other way to say it, but he needs luck on his side, and he's got to push to go for the race win, and he needs to hope that Tim Stahl finishes 6th or lower. That's what the championship looks like. In order for Christian Ramau to win this championship, he needs to win this race, and Tim Stahl needs to finish 6th or lower. And we'll never say never, but it's a tough, tall ask. Chad is saying this race is tragic. What would have happened if Regan Milano was still in this? Well, his championship would be way closer, I'll tell you that much. It would have been way closer. But this is motorsport. You're going to get heartbreak, and you're going to get triumphant returns, battles. Drivers are going to get unlucky, but there has to be a loser at the end of the day. And for what it's worth, what Regan and Christian have pulled off this season, it's been incredible. And Christian's going to get a little bonus. As it stands right now, finishing ahead of Peter Sabot, he will qualify for the final playing position for Race of Champions. So he's going to be in the playoffs if Christian is staying where he is right now. So it's still great light at the end of the tunnel for Christian Ramau in the most important championship of the CMRC season. Regardless, though, there you see him going past Klaus, landing through Mercedes and Mercedes. The gap has opened up to 8.3 seconds. Wow, this race has really gotten interesting. And as it continues, let's talk about our retirements, because we're actually down to 12. We have lost almost half the title. Half our championship drivers. So DeVille Park retiring after lap 20. We also have Martin Webster and Mark Crawford retiring. Lap 19 for Webster, 17 for Crawford. Conti, of course, we already saw that retirement. Lap 8. Amelie, lap 5. And Jarrell, lap 2. So this race somehow becoming the most retirements. And I wonder why, because I only saw... I saw Conti got disconnected out of there, of the session, unfortunately. And as we continue here, Park, Sabot in the pits for their second pit stop. And as that happens, look at Tim on the attack. And does Park defend? Oh, he's flashing his headlights too. Side by side. Could this get interesting? Does Andy Park fight Tim Stahl? He does not. Lets him through the momentum. Just not in this case, but fresh tires. Fresh softs against old hards for Tim. There we go. Game on. So two different compounds showing the light on the same car. Two drivers who really battled hard last week at Indonesia, which ended in fireworks. Tim Stahl had a time penalty. Andy Park had a time penalty. They both took each other out in separate incidents. That's how violent this fight between these two have been. And meanwhile, trouble! Oh, it's happened a second time! Oh, it's happened a second time! Oh my goodness! Unfortunately, though, he hasn't lost out that much time. But it happened again. Through Ascari, he made another mistake. Hit the curb wrong. That's the last thing that Tim needs. Headed through the first part well, but he just, again, it was actually an identical how he went off the last time. It's in chat. Can Evan still win? Unfortunately, I don't think Evan's here, but hey, he's probably here in spirit somewhere. Maybe he's putting banana peels at that apex to not allow Tim Stahl any chance of a break at Ascari. But a second time now, Tim Stahl has made the same mistake at that same exact sausage curb that sent him, and now he's got to get back to work. He's got work to do again, and he still has to make a pit stop. He may come behind Peter Sabot. Another mistake like that, I mean, this could help the rest of the drivers and this championship fight. More importantly, Christian Ramau's fight. Look at those tires there. You see, Christian should be the next to come into the pits very soon. Let's just get back to our timing board here. And as Tezayaki comes out, he falls behind Danny Nasseir. Danny, though, just a little bit ahead. Meanwhile, we look in the mini cam and we're watching the park fight against Tim Stahl and Tezayaki. Trying to get the move here on Danny Nasseir, 4th position. And Danny trying to defend. Fresh compounds here. Oh, wow, look how close. I thought there was going to be contact, and there wasn't. Danny Nasseir, interesting to know, he's on the hard tires. Casper's on fresh softs. Dan has got to come in soon, of course, to top off fuel and hopefully see if he can get for one final pit stop. But Casper almost running into the rear, avoided it. And luckily he's free. So Danny Nasseir with a little bit of a buffer. And on the short screen, 1.1 the difference. Andy Park continues to hold off of your championship leader. And now, into the pits, Danny Nasseir goes. And that is going to be that fight done and dusted. So now we look back up to this fight here, as Tim needs to start to put down some pace here. Unless they're listening to the stream, well, I'll let you know that I don't know if Tim knows what he has to do for this championship fight, if he looked into it beforehand. Whatever the case may be. His tires did an update for Andy. No, he's good. He did pit. Here comes Tim. So I think that's just our timing board. But our live timing tracker that only I can see, I think that's correct information. So Tim now into the pits. Has that incident costed him? Oh, I think our drone camera just went. Yeah, our drone camera. There's some issue with it there. Into the pits. Here comes Peter Sabot. Regan Milana's coming up soon. But he's at the key of the pits. And now coming out. There we go. Regan just way too far to fight this one. And Mike Van Doorn already making his pit stop. And he's already out and going. So on his second stop, unfortunately, he's gone in backwards. So Tim now, P4. Remember, if Christian wants to win this championship, he needs to find some way to win this race. As you see Andy Park catching up to the tail end of this traffic. I don't know what Christian can do. The only way he's going to win this title, he needs fuel to make it to the end, but he is 12 laps on this stint. He has to come in again. And with 20 minutes to go, tall order if he wants this title. Meanwhile, Andy Park, prime position. Prime where he is right now to get this one under his belt. And as for Regan as well, he still needs to come in for another pit stop. He is not going to make it. P12 of Klausa just exiting out the pits and then back onto the circuit. Tim now 3 seconds behind Peter Sabot. And Peter now catching up to Klaus, but just a little too far to get any sort of move done, especially through lap traffic. Battle here, P7 and P8. That's Kasper Teziaki, who is holding on to P7. Quiet, lonely race for him, but in terms of Ilham, as Regan enters into the pits, was it a pit stop made? Yeah, I think it was. So, pit stop done there. It should be his final stop, Regan Milana. And he comes out P6. So, there we go. But yeah, as for Ilham, just ran backwards in this championship. Unfortunately, in this race as well, just did not have the best of luck out here. And yeah, he's keeping in the points. That's the most important part. Just keep yourself consistent. In the foreground there, I think that was Klaus just going off. Potentially, Peter Sabot may have made a mistake because he's lost a handful of time. It was 3 seconds. Now it's 1.6. Was that him getting into the rear of Klaus? Regardless, Tim now has a chance to get onto the podium. And that'll more than likely seal this deal. With 17 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. Our pit window closes in 7 minutes, but does not matter because everyone has made their mandatory pit stop. Next week out, we're done with DTM and we're heading into Race of Champions. It's the playoffs where you're going to see GT4, Formula 3, Porsche Super Cup, TCR, and GT3. It's a series you do not want to miss. You can get signed up and get started. The playoff drivers, for the most part, are all set. It's Christian Romao that's just left to get the last bit of points to qualify himself to knock down Cody Lawrence to enter into the Championship 6. So, that's going to go down next week out. It's the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort for GT4 Racing. It's a single spec series with just using the championship winning car. That was done by Daniel Santos at South Dakota Circuit in Guyana. They're going to be using the Aston Martin GT4. 16 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. It's not over till it's over. And Ilham trying to find some way to catch back up. He's now 1.3 behind P7. And remember, in the pits, Christian Romao, if he can make it to the end, he'll try. But it's looking like he needs to come in. 14 laps on this tank. And you can see on the Delta, he's coming down 9 seconds now, 8.5 actually. And he's going to be just exiting. You're going to see him maybe, yep, just for a moment there in the background. Teammate of this man here, Ilham Lesmana, Christian Romao. Rounding out through Parabolica, and question is at this point, when do you come in? I mean, this championship, you could look back at all the incidents throughout this one of what made the championship points it is today. You could look at this, you could look at qualifying. What would have happened if Christian had a better qualifying? If actually he would have had it out worse? Or was qualifying the perfect place he needed for the events that transpired? Whatever the case may be, it leaves him in the lead, but a hollow lead, where after a pit stop, he'll lose the lead to Andy Park, and he'll lose the championship because he needs this man here, Tim Stahl, to finish 6th or lower, and Christian needs to win this race. So here we go. Tim Stahl against Peter Sabot for P3. 14 minutes left to go in this race. In the slipstream, very much so. 49. Oh, and they said, I think it's just updated there. So 0.5 the difference. 4.9. Just touching and going between each other. And into the first hard braking zone. Peter Sabot holding on, doing a great job here in that Audi. And now just a little tap of the brakes, a little bit wide off of entry, but his exit is looking great. And now into the second lesmo section, just has to focus on the line ahead of him. And he does so, but a way better run from Tim. Heading into Ascari. Slipstream engaged here. Does he go for the move? And he looks for it. No, he doesn't, but he's very close. This time by. Heads into the curb. Exiting through it. Nose to tail. They go. And now, Peter Sabot. Oh, he just cannot hold on to the car. And Tim Stahl enters the podium. But for how long? Parabolic gonna go. And Peter to the outside. Narrow line for Tim Stahl. They go side by side. A little contact is made. Peter does not want to let go of this fight for the podium, knowing that he has to get this one. Slipstream back on. Gaining. Slingshot. Gone to the inside as they head into Curva Grande. In the background, I think I also saw Mike Van Dorn. And was it Regan or was it just lap traffic? I'm not too sure. Peter to the outside now after holding the inside of Curva Grande into the braking zone now. Very tight. Little bit of contact again. But Tim, this time around, will hold on to P3. Now that's for the time being. Can Peter get back through? No, he has a worse exit. Into the first lesmo. Does he save time? He doesn't. And the gap opened up to 5/10, 6/10 almost. Everyone's on the soft compounds as well. And Christian Ramel, that is it for him. The lead of this race. The only chance he had at this championship if he were to win this one. Comes down to this pit stop here to at least get him to finish on the podium. Now, has he changed tires? He has. Hard compounds. More fuel, racing to the end of this one. The rest of the field, well, they are on the alternate tire. They're on the soft, so Christian at this point now is just going to do his best to hold on to the podium. The gap, waiting for it to update. 16 seconds. Here we go. Game on. 11 minutes to go. Unless Tim needs to pit. He's done 6 laps so far on this tank. But now, it's put Andy Park back to the lead of this Italian Grand Prix. And he's got 11 minutes for victory. We're going to try to not overshine anyone's victory here throughout a race winner or a champion. But we're going to give our flowers to both of these competitors here. So now, different story here. And a story of a comeback. And you know what? I haven't even told you my take on what went down with Tim Stahl. And how dare I? I will answer that question right about now. As remember, he got into an incident heading into the chicane. So, of course, he had lost the lead out to Andy Park. And then as they headed into the chicane, he lost it. So, just watching over to the replay. I wish I could show you the replay on stream. Unfortunately, I cannot. Tim lost it on his own. Spun the wheels up on the curb exit out of turn 2. And that actually was what caused him to spin around. So that was the reason. Wow. That is very interesting on what went down there. So now, as pit lane finally comes to a close, the drivers can still come in if they want to. Mandatory stops are now complete. Here we go. Game on. For the rest of the pack, one pack we're seeing here. Ilham against Tazayaki. Casper against Ilham. There's Mana. So, what can we do here? Ilham, what does he do? Looking to the outside. Casper sitting duck out here. Nothing he can do. Just has to hold on. And hold on, he will. As into the braking zone, Lesmana goes deep, into the sausage curve, back out. Nothing can be done there. Not that time by. But now another chance here as we exit the second Lesmo. And here we go. Now it's getting a bit closer. Here's slipstreaming, and we're also getting word, doing our best to investigate what went down with Regan Milana. We believe he lost it at Ascari. So that may have been the reason why he was back down to last. He just got it wrong through the Ascari section. Yellows came out. We didn't see it live on stream. But that's our best guess. Well, that is at least where he got it wrong. May have been contact or something, but whatever the case may be, it's really been Christian Romao who has had a race with less faults, where honestly it just came down to overall pace, and Andy Park unable to give Christian Romao a single chance, and Christian having to work this one way harder. About an 11-second gap. Well, it's actually boosted a little bit, I think, from the braking zone. They're equally on the front straight now. It's very hard. It's just getting worse and worse for him. That gap, 14 seconds. Wow. And plus, even if he wins this race, Tim Stall's on P3. As it stands right now, Tim's winning this championship. Not too much to talk about here, other than the fact that next week out we head into Race of Champions for the Dutch Grand Prix in GT4 Racing. So you do not want to miss that out. You're going to see all your big names come back. Mike Van Doren, Sven Versteeg, Peter Sabot, Daniel Santos, Eamon Esbeer, and Christian Romao. Hope I didn't miss any names from that list. That top six going to go into the playoffs. The rest of the drivers and everyone else can compete for this championship, but it's going to be like a separate class of racing. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left to go for this Italian Grand Prix that's come down to the line where the championship essentially has been sealed. Even if Tim were to make a mistake right now, he needs to lose P6, and P6 is entering into the Lesmos, and that belongs to Regan Milana right now. So yeah, it's not over, of course. Issues with the car, reliability, lap traffic, like we saw at the GT4 Caribbean Championship. Lots of things could change in this final 5 minutes. I mean, we cannot forget, even though the order was reversed due to how ridiculous the incident was, Daniel Santos in the final lap, final minutes of that championship, final round for the title against Krogsgaard, and just lost it against lap traffic. And unfortunately, after further review with not the best of rejoins onto the surface and the commanding lead that Santos did hold off, the order was reversed. And respectfully, all drivers understood that decision there. Even for the championship fight, it was the right thing to do. But you know, we look here too today where we've had a very respectful race, especially with lap traffic. I do have to commend some of the drivers last week. The lap traffic situation at Mandalika, brilliant. And this week, another brilliant showcase here. So hopefully we're not going to get anybody complaining here about blue flags. But overall, though, it's been a fantastic championship. And as we continue here off with under 5 minutes to go, we're going to calculate our point standings one final time here. And of course, penalties will be looked at after the race. And yes, to answer your question, championship could be changed. As Ilham, we didn't see it, got the move done on Tazayaki. This may be your fight for the very end. Penalties could still change the output of this title after the race if there was something found. Regardless, It's still been fantastic racing. And you see Taziaki, 2 wheels off the circuit, and he's actually gotten even worse. Off the track. Oh, that might seal him off of a P7 finish coming to the end here. It's not what he wanted whatsoever. As it stands, we still have another championship to look at. It's, of course, the team standings. And, well, that is a quite different story. As we continue to look at this one. As the team standings look, BWT Nanoshift. That is the team of both Ilham Lesmana and Christian Ramau. They look to be taking the title here for the DTM World Championship team standings, followed by Watt Racing, of course, single-handedly controlled by Tim Stahl, and P3, Show Me Your Heart. That's Nixon and Regan, 102, 109, 121. I wish everyone involved in that championship isn't decided in the stewards room. No chance. For what I've seen in this championship so far, at least, it's been fine. Just seeing Christian going off the circuit. We've obviously focused a lot more on the top drivers, the top championship drivers for this one, and we didn't see anything truly go wrong. The only thing I will be very curious about is what happened to Regan at Ascari if he was taken out. And if he was taken out, well, who did it? Because that could be a game changer here. But let's just pin the blame on, let's say, even if it was Tim Stahl who did it, I have no idea. It wouldn't matter for this championship. He'll get 10 seconds knocked down. He'll finish outside the podium. He'll still take the title. Does not matter. But I'm not saying it was him. I'm just giving an example if somehow he did take him out. But I'm pretty sure Tim Stahl was ahead of Regan when that incident happened. 1 minute, 40 seconds left to go. We look at Christian Ramau, and tough. Absolute tough. I cannot say anything else. It was a strong effort. He got very lucky at the start with the 2 championship rivals going off. He got into second, and second is the best he can do after pit stops are made. No other chance against Andy Park. Andy Park maybe becoming the next generation of CMRSC in the aliens. And here's food for thought. Andy Park's on a controller. He is schooling the competition. Now, granted, I am not going to take away anything Andy Park has done for this first race win to come together. If it stays this way, well deserved. And I believe he'll make history. He might be I think he is going to be the first controller player, the first controller driver to win. I'm going to double check with him. Oh, trouble. Paz. Oh, that's on the front straight. He said there was contact with him and Klaus. I see Klaus very far ahead of the road. So I'm not too sure what went down there. Final lap for Andy Park in this Italian Grand Prix. I got to ask him. I got to make sure he's on controller before I can give him this props. But if he is, history. Absolute history. For the first ever controller driver to win a race. Now, I can't wait for Race of Champions. Hopefully, can we see Andy Park go against CMRSC's top competitors in the GT category? The DTM touring car category has been very nice to some, like Christian Ramau and Peter Sabot, but it's been very unlucky for the likes of Mike Van Dorn and some of the other top names. And in chat is saying, yes, he is on a controller. I'll still ask him anyways at the end of this one into the interviews. But what a race this has turned out to be. And we'll let them do their thing. Andy Park, ladies and gentlemen, one of the newcomers in CMRSC. Very close at Indonesia could not get it done, but this time around at Monza, Andy Park is your new CMRC race winner. He wins it. He wins his first race in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. What a drive from him in P2. Christian Ramau did everything correct in the book, but the championship will just slip away from his hands. He'll still finish in P2, but for P3, Tim Stahl has done it. Our rookie has won the championship. Tim Stahl is champion of DTM. He is champion of the world. Peter Saboa will finish up P4. Looking down the rest of the order here, Mike Van Dorn will come around and he will finish P5. Next up the road, Regan Milana. What a drive. A shame that it came down to this, but you got to give props to him. He will finish in P6. A race to forget. A nightmare. A race that he wishes could have gone any way but that one, but I'm not going to disrespect him. That was still an amazing drive, and I put my hands together to him. Klaus will earn himself a time penalty at the end of this one. And here comes Regan, here comes Ilham Lesmana, Paz, and then we have Kasper Tazayaki. That is it! That's your top three! And the championship is finally complete. And unfortunately, I think our drone cam has just gotten it wrong there. And here we go. Celebrations, potentially. Andy Park trying to have some fun here. And yes, he is. Championship's over. Everyone is celebrating. It was a great drive for all of them. All right, well, that is going to conclude this year's DTM World Championship, and we're not going to waste any time. We're going to talk to our top drivers here, starting off with our race winner and the man who is our newest Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club winner in the league, Andy Park. You're a race winner. Congratulations. You got it done out here at Monza, class of the field. How's that race for you?
It's unbelievable. It means so much to me. I have no clue. It's been a grueling week, everything combined. It's just an amazing honor. I was fantasizing about standing here and being like, race winner. And somehow I brought it onto reality. It's incredible to me. It's really incredible. Unbelievable stuff.
First of all, are you on controller, by the way?
I am, yeah.
You make history. You're the very first driver to win a race on a pad. That's really put the rest of the pack on notice, I think, after hearing that one. But you got it done. An incredible start to this one in this race. Take us through it. How was it for you?
The first thing that I saw was Tim being absolutely monster on pace. But my plan was to hopefully not be pole, because pole position for this track and the straight was the worst thing that I could have done. Though I did get carried away, I ended up chasing pole anyway. So it's not like I ended P2 because I won, and no, that's copium. I tried to go for pole, but Tim was just on another level to me. But I was determined, since I was on the hard compound, to just try and get the lead of the race immediately. But yeah, I didn't expect that incident to happen, so my absolute heartfelt apologies to Tim. I really didn't want to put myself in such a horrific position. But yeah, that was the start for me. I just kept my head down, kept looking for Christian if he was matching my times, and then it was just following the strategy that me and Leila honed over the past week.
You seal the deal, and you got the race win, your very first, and I really hope, of many. Will we be seeing you in Race of Champions? Of course, since you're a newcomer, you're not going to be able to enter into the playoffs. Far from it, but you're still able to run through it. Will we see you competing in it?
Yes. Before I go, though, I want to give massive thanks to a few people that deserve it. Ari Mufeitova, who's been a mentor to me and has been keeping my head cool through the worst of circumstances. Lucas Entorbi, wonderful friend, always there, emotional support. Also, Amir Oates, the car, helped with the funding of the team, with delivery and stuff. So also hats off to him. Alicia, also another close friend of mine who helped me. And finally, Laila Petraglia, my wonderful teammate. And I also have one message to give. Grazie Laila per questa fantastica stagione, per essere stata una compagna di squadra così fantastica. That's it for me. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Celebrate it. You truly deserve that race win.
I will.
Eddie Park, that's your race winner. And then we head over to the man who finishes P2. And a great result, P2 out here. I hope I invited the right one. I think so, yeah. Christian Ramau, you did everything possible. Unfortunately, the championship is just going to slip out of your hands. But what a fantastic start to be basically up at the front for the entirety of this race. And a well-deserved P2 for you. Take us through that one. How was it for you?
Well, my quali was really slow. I thought I would do a lot better for the qualifying, but my race pace was really not expected for me, especially the first and the second stint. The third one was really slow with the hard starts. At the start of the race, I got an ambulance jump scare from Riga. When he crashed, he just went through me. The Assetto Costa didn't counted it as a contact, so he just clipped through me. And it was really fast for me to keep pace and the position. I was just watching him doing his recovery race from the leaderboard and the minimap as well. Congratulations to both.
And you're still going to get some good news, I believe, from all the points. You are our final qualified driver for the Race of Champions playoffs. So huge light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to be going up against the best of the best, going for the title of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Champion of 2025. There's still light at the end of the tunnel for you, so can't wait to see what you can do for the playoffs. But an incredible drive from you, so much improvement I've seen from you, and so close to getting this championship done. But one thing's for sure, you did everything right here today. Congratulations, Christian, and enjoy this one, and we hope to see you stronger than ever for the finale of the final championship, Race of Champions. That's going to do it there for P2, but still, last but certainly not least, Tim Schull. We call him the alien, and the newcomer here, our newest driver in CMRSC, his first championship in CMRSC. He is champion in CMRSC. Tim, you've done it. Your first ever championship. You've walked through it, and you've got the title. It's yours. That's got to feel great, doesn't it?
It really does. In the end, it did take me a second to lighten up after the race, but I can say I'm very, very happy to win my debut championship right away. The race today could have obviously gone better, but let's not focus on the negative. And yeah, thank you for the great moderation. I have to just say that, especially also all the social media posts, all the content creation that has done mostly, if not everything, by you, which I find very commendable. It's very nice. And yeah, second, I want to thank all the drivers in the championship for to 99% of the time excellent standards, with blue flags, with racing wheel to wheel. And yeah, I can say that I've very much enjoyed driving my first championship in CMRSC, and I will definitely be back.
That's the second question I wanted to ask you there. You can't just leave it at there. I know with Tim, ladies and gentlemen, you can find him over on ACF or What Racing. Very fast driver, commentated for him myself. And yeah, Tim, a very quick driver. So you can find him doing from 6 to 12 to even 24 hours of racing. And he's no slouch at all. So to come here and to join us, we greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that did kind of answer my second question. Will you be returning very soon? Maybe Race of Champions, maybe GT3. We would love to have you, and you're always welcome. But Tim, any final words you'd like to say and any shout outs you'd like to make?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to my team, What Racing, of course, for sorting out delivery for me and, you know, making it possible to still race here and come, you know, drive Mandalika to also win this championship when I was in the middle of an endurance race, which obviously had priority, but I still got to race here as well, which is very nice because it did enable me to win the championship. So huge shout out to What. And huge shout out to Sasha, our team leader, for making it happen with delivery on more or less short notice. And yeah, I'll definitely be back. I'm planning to race in CMRC relatively frequently, as frequently as I'm allowed or as I have time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Lots of respect. Go celebrate that. You earned that 1000%. Our newest champion in CMRC, Tim Stahl, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Tim. Well deserved.
Thank you very much.
That's going to do it there for the championship. We'll have our post-race debrief going off right now. If you got to head out, we thank you so much for taking part in our final round of DTM. No more DTM for the rest of the year. We head into Race of Champions. The first round coming up, it's GT4 racing at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. There will be more information in our announcement channel. But we thank you so much for sticking with us through this incredible DTM World Championship. Thank you for all the feedback as well. And we'll see you hopefully next week for Race of Champions. And to all our fans at home watching this one, supporting your favorite drivers, and Eamon making fun of my haircut. I know my barber did me dirty. I know. All right, leave me alone. I was sweating throughout that race. That was exciting. Not gonna make an excuse. Shout out my barber. That's gonna do it. Thank you so much for another incredible DTM World Championship, the fourth installment. Not want to make any leaks, but. Stick close. We're going to have some news regarding the DTM World Championship for 2026. And we have a bit of a bombshell that will be announced towards December time. So thank you so much for joining us through an incredible championship. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, we're on course for 3,000 subscribers. And we'll see you for round one of the playoffs. GT4 at Zandvoort. Just to know what you're getting yourself into. Let's take a look at the trailer. Because for Race of Champions 2025, it will now be the top who finish in the overall standings of the year. And that is going to mean every single point matters.
Mike Van Dorn as champion of the world. Cody Lawrence comes across the line, is champion of the world. Van champion of Porsche Super Cup. The championship goes to Peter Sabot and TCR. Mike Van Dorn is a 5-time champion of the world and Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. He takes victory. Eamon Aspear, it's a 3rd time the charm and a new champion. And now Cody Championship. You finished P2 back in Porsche Cup. You finished P2 back in TCR. You finished P2 back at the Endurance Championship in GTE. But right now, you can finally call yourself champion of the Caribbean here. Santos, you're champion. You got it done here today. A lot of emotions. Let's try to hold off on any language. But tell me, that's still gotta feel great at the end of it.
I'll give it one more try. I don't know why, but I keep coming back every time.